Hello, this is a tutorial of the AMS Connect secure texting application. AMS Connect is a cloud-based app that you download on your mobile device. It allows you to send and receive peer-to-peer text messages as well as your pages in the application. This here is the AMS Connect icon. When I click on it, it takes me into my inbox where I can see all of my conversation threads with individuals or groups, as well as my pages. Anytime you see a message thread that comes in as AMS Connect with this little pager icon here, that was a message that was sent to my pager number. I received it in my actual pager as well as in the application. If you choose to turn your pager off, leave it at your desk, you are going to still receive your pages in the application. Of course, if you do not carry a pager altogether, then this will not apply to you. Just a quick note about pages. It doesn't matter how a page is sent, whether it was sent through the operator dispatch console, so it's a text, or whether it was sent over the phone, which is a numeric message, I'm going to receive it on my application. Uh, a page is by definition a one-way receiving device. So a pager message in the app is a one-way incoming message. I cannot reply to this message. I can simply act on it. If I do get a 10-digit phone number, it does create a hot link where I can hold my finger on it and make a phone call, but that will be the extent. Now I'm going to compose a new peer-to-peer conversation thread and show the features of a conversation. So I begin by clicking the paper and pencil in the top right-hand corner. This will bring up my database search. I can search for a user by either first or last name. It is a fuzzy search, so as I start typing, it will narrow down the search until I find the user I'm looking for. So again, as I start typing Lemoyne, I find the person I'm looking for, and I will also look for Beth. I'm looking for Beth Rosenworth. Again, there may be several Beths in my database. As I narrow it down, I'll find the one I'm looking for. The patient and subject lines are optional. They are free-form fields we can enter information into. I'm going to skip over them, go down into where it says enter message here, and say, have you seen the patient in room 204? And I'm going to send this message. When I send the message, I see that there is now a new message thread in my inbox. And when I click on that message thread, I see my conversation that I've begun. I see right now that my message is on red. In fact, when I click on the gray bar where I typed my message, I will see both names listed underneath it. And I will get a check mark. As we saw, Beth just read it. And as soon as Lemoyne reads it, I get a check mark with the read receipt. They will respond back to me, and back and forth we can go conversation. Here's a response from Beth, and here is Lemoyne. So they can see the read receipts on their end when we click on the bar of conversation. Again, every time a message is sent, you will have read confirmation. Now we're going to look at a few of the conversation options here at the bottom. We'll start with the camera. When you click on the camera, it will open up your device's camera. You simply take a photo in the app. Note that this picture will not store on your device's photo stream. And when you send this photo in the application, it is only visible to those in the conversation, which currently are the three of us. So we are the only three people who can see this photo. The next feature we're going to look at is the audio. The audio feature allows you to simply record a voice message. I will hold my finger down on the red button, begin recording my message. As you can see, it is counting down. It tells me that if I release my finger down here in the white section, it will cancel my recording. But if I release my finger right on the red section, my voice message will be sent automatically. Both Beth and Lemoyne can now go and listen to this voice message and act on its instructions. There are two more features I want to discuss, but before doing so, I'm going to add two additional users into the conversation. This right here is the conversation menu bar. It allows you to remove or add participants into an existing conversation. I'm going to add two users here. I'm looking for Liz, and here she comes up as I know. And then Gina, I'll look for Gina by her last name. As I type it, here it is, Gina Sproul, and I'm going to click the word done. So once added, we're going to see this auto-generated message here that says Vardy has added Gina and Liz to this conversation. In fact, everyone in the conversation sees this auto message. So there is complete transparency. No one will be able to sneak into a conversation without everyone knowing it. And the reason this is important is because when users are added into a conversation, they have the entire conversation at their disposal. So it is important to make sure that users do have access to that conversation before adding them in. Now, and here we're getting a response from Gina, who has seen the conversation and is following up. Now we have two more features to look at. These three dots are quick messages. Uh, Quick messages are a list of commonly used comments and questions or responses that are designed to be sent quickly. You simply click on it and it goes out just like that. I can edit my own quick message list by adding new quick messages or rearranging the order if I want to create a new quick message on my way, and I can save that, or I can take this one and bring it up to the top, completely editable list of messages. The final feature we want to look at in this conversation menu is this exclamation point here, which will enable the urgent mode. The reason this is important is because an urgent message will be sent via a different tone than the other messages have been sent thus far in order to stand out. So I'm going to say urgent, need help, and when I send this, the recipients will receive this in a completely different tone. Again, I'm getting my read receipt. It says read by one. As I open it, you can see the messages, the read receipts. This actually is a great segue into the account settings where we can see that there are three different alert setting options for the three different types of messages that we can get in the AMS Connect app. So down here is my account setting button. I'm going to go into it and I'm going to scroll up to where it says notification settings. As I mentioned, there are three different types of messages that I can get in the app, so I can set each one of them into with its own unique tone. The first is our standard peer-to-peer messages. As you can see, I've got mine set to jingle. It sounds like this. And as I go down, you will see that I have a customizable repeat option, which I have set to 3 times. So if I get a text message and I don't read it, I will get 3 additional reminder alerts, each of them 90 seconds apart. The next type of message is urgent. I've got my urgent messages sent to this alarm tone, which sounds like this. And as I scroll up, I have my alarm, my urgent messages set with 8 reminders. And finally, I have my pager messages, which actually sounds like a beeper, and it sounds like this. And I have my pager messages set to 5 times. And that is the complete conversation menu functionality. The next feature we're going to look at is the status updates. Again, from the account settings, I'm going to go in and see that I have the ability to change my status to reflect in the application to say whether I'm busy or off duty. Right now, I'm selected as an available status user. I can change myself to say I'm busy, or I can say I'm off duty. As you can see, I got a new pop-up here that came up when I clicked busy and off duty. I'll do that again when I'm in available available. Those options are not available. When I click off duty, you see that I have these two features available. I can select someone to cover for me while I'm off duty, and I can set an auto response to let people know that I am off duty. So the first one is select coverage. When I'm off duty, I can actually search in my database for someone to cover for me. And as the pop-up read, individuals who are off duty or busy cannot be selected as a covering entity. So if I'm going on vacation and I want to select, for example, Lemoyne to cover for me, I will search for Lemoyne. As soon as I see her green available check mark, I can select her to cover for me while I'm on vacation. The other feature I can do when I'm off duty is put an auto response. When I click on that, I have three options. I can do a default auto response, which simply says I'm off duty. I can customize it with some details of times and explanations, or I honestly do have the option of turning the auto response off. This is something, it's like your out of office message that people get when they send you an email and you are not available to receive it. So that is the status feature. And the final option that we're going to look at here is these services. Services are built into the application in order to allow users to sign into whether it's a on-call or a rotating service situation or a code group. So when you are signed into the service, you get the messages sent to that service pager. And when you are signed out of the service, you will not receive messages sent to that service pager. As you can see, I'm signed in as the on-call day shift. When I go here and click on manual set, you see I'm actually signed in as the on-call day shift and the on-call resident. So these services do have a pager number associated with them. So if someone's looking for the on-call resident, they don't know who is the on-call resident at this time. All they need to do is send a message to the on-call resident pager or send a text message to the on-call resident service within the application, and I will receive those messages. When I'm no longer covering as on-call resident, I can simply click on that, and I am now no longer covering the on-call resident pager. So if that pager is paged, I no longer get it. Whoever is signed in will receive it. I do want to show that we have the ability to schedule our services in advance so that we don't need to do it right on at the moment that we are covering it on and off. So if I click on the little plus sign in the top right hand corner, I will see a search of my list of my recent services that I've searched. However, I do have a search all services tab right here. And as soon as I type in on call, all of my on calls that are built into my account will be available to me. And if I am the on call attending, I will click and I will say next. And here's where I can put in a beginning and an end date and time. So if I'm covering the on-call attending service pager beginning today at 5 p.m. until tomorrow, 3 p.m., I will go ahead and click add. And here at the bottom, you'll see that I have a new schedule set to cover the on-call attending service beginning today at 5:30 and ending on Friday at 3:30. And that is the scheduling feature of the service. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Thank you very much.